So this is going to be more material appropriate placement for this. Is it a good quality product? Okay, so we're going to have a look-see. Obligatory Allen key. This Allen key measures 0.050 inches. That's a metric style head on that. All in all, this would be the most common replacement in terms of offshore Tune-O-Matic style bridges, okay? Such as your Epiphone Les Pauls et al. Machining on that is really, really smooth. We're not going to be using these inserts because there's really no need. The knurl is smooth. This is what we want to have as our center of attention. So we have the slot screws. How smooth are those? Very nice, very nice. Very little slop here. Here's an interesting engineering thing here. You'll see that it's an inverted T. So this will never come out, other than sliding into the slot from the face here. This screw on the side here, once you have your intonation set, should lock that in place, make everything rigid. That is snugged up. And this screw head, yeah, that's nice and positive now. Like it's got a little, you're gonna have some slop in it, but it's locked in place, which is just dandy. Really nice finish. Radius on there should be compatible with 12-inch, maybe even 10-inch. It looks pretty round. And lastly, we have the set screws for the posts themselves to lock it once you have the height set. Like the other locking parts manufacturer rhymes with prone toes. You know what I mean? Let's get this on here and see what's what. But first, okay, we are going to do just a real quick check. I'll give you my impression of how this sounds, because we're going to look at where are we versus where do we wind up. I'm going to try to get a sense of what it sounds like acoustically and through the amp. Right off the bat, this guitar is lively. Acoustically, it has a strong mid-range. The bottom end is a little subdued. I think that's the nature of the instrument. And how does it sound with these American PRS McCartney pickups? Ringing like a bell, okay? So we have at least some sort of footprint to compare to. And now we're going to swap out the bridge. Before I commit to getting this on there, I'm going to approximate the intonation. So we've got our new bridge on. Installation was pretty straightforward. It went on, no problem. Studs went in, no problem. First thing I did was of course, get the general height set. Then I trued up the height of the strings, and we're going to look at some of the details here. The intonation screws here are held in place on the other side by little spring clips, okay, that keep them from, ultimately they won't fall out. And the last thing I'm going to do is literally lock the rest of it down. Again, it's been intonated, and we're just going to make sure that all these screws are torqued up properly. So what that will do is solidify, unify the whole bridge system. So we will get maximum transfer of energy. And the other benefit is when you take the strings off, with the benefit of the grub screws on the posts, it'll stay put and everything is kind of hunky-dory that way. How does it feel? So far, so good. The machining is great, as I said. What I want to try to do here is I'm just going to snug up these screws. This is actually a good practice in general with any kind of ABR/Nashville style bridge. okay? You want to make sure that they are positive to the body. That'll just stop them from coming loose and chattering and all that kind of stuff. Very well done on that end, okay? The screws move fairly freely. In my opinion, the tolerances on the threads could be a little bit better because they just seem a little bit, you know, a little bit too free. But that's like a really minor thing. Lastly, I want to check the radius. Let's see what the radius actually is. If it's at all possible, I want to avoid having to cut the saddles to perfect the radius of the strings. It's not absolutely necessary, but if it's off by a significant amount, I'm going to be compelled to do it. So let's see where we wind up. I've measured the fretboard already. It's 12 inches, okay? 12-inch radius. Here's my 12-inch radius gauge, the metal one, under the saddle, holding it lightly in the middle. If I rock it a little bit, I can get those outside strings to quiet or stop from ringing out. What that tells me is this is a 12-inch radius in the gauge. And if the outside strings are ringing, that means the radius of the strings is a little flatter with respect to the gauge itself. Now that's using it underneath the strings. What about on top of the strings? Definitely. Okay, so our outside strings are muted, inner strings are ringing out pretty clear, which means again that the strings it's a flatter radius than the 12-inch from the top. My personal preference is to have a rounder radius. I prefer to set the radius from the top of the strings. Reason being, gives the middle strings more air to move because they are a little bit more excitable. Okay, now I'll use my cardboard gauge here. Ooh, advertise. Anyway, perfect, great, works for me. This just gives me a different sensory feedback, you know, but it's all good. I think it's just fine, okay? If I were to put an actual number to it, I would say the radius is closer to a 13, maybe even a 14 in specificity, but out of the box, pretty cool. Is there any noticeable difference acoustically? Teeny tiny little bit brighter. As I said, the graphite tends to allow more of the mid bloom through. Okay, we interpret that as a loss of maybe of high end, sometimes the low end, but that's human nature. Very, 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 very subtle. Little bit more bite in the high end. And we can attribute that directly to the all-metal construction here. So far, so good. Really, really solid. Would I recommend it? Yeah. If you want to upgrade your wire-tied, rather sloppy-ish standard unit, this is a perfect upgrade. It's a fantastic mix of precision, price, and features. It locks down and it's all good. Final opinion is, yeah, it's good to go. I was pretty happy with it. Thanks for putting up with me. For all the new people watching, for the new subscribers, thank you so much for helping out the channel. I really appreciate you guys. The feedback is awesome. It's always awesome. Okay, good and the bad. You got to take it. It's all good. And as I always say, at the end of the day, play loud, have fun, have a great day. Cheers. See ya.